Okay, I'm back, Math 85, and I'm going to do section 2.4, which is multiples and factors. So, what is a multiple? So, a multiple of a number is when we take that number and multiply it by each of the counting numbers. So a multiple of a number is when we take that number and multiply it by each of the counting numbers. So do we remember what the counting numbers are? Let's review that. So the counting numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So there's so many counting numbers that in the homework they only want the multiples. They might ask for the multiples under 50, multiples, the first 3 multiples, the first 4 multiples. So let me give you an example, because I bet you this is not making sense. If we wanted to find the multiples of 4 that are less than 40. So my number is 4, and I'm going to take that number and I'm going to multiply it by 1, by 2, by 3, by 4, by 5, by 6. I want all of the multiples of 4 that are less than 40. So I just want to go up to 40, and that's it. So let me write these out. So here are the multiples. So 4, 8, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16, that time should be up there. 4 times 5 is 20. Four times 7 is 28. 4 times 8 is 32. Okay, so here are my multiples of 4, and I'll write them out in a list for you. That's easier to see. Here are all the multiples of 4 that are less than 40. We don't include 40 because we want all of them that are smaller than 40. So I believe on WebAssign they have you write them out with commas in between the numbers. So this is what the answer, your final answer, would look like. So multiples of 4 that are less than 40. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, and 36. So those are what the multiples of 4 look like that are less than 40. So they're going to tell you which multiples they want and how far up they want you to go. So this is my final answer right here. All these numbers, and each of them is separated by a comma. What are the multiples of 5 that are less than, let's say, 43. So this is the number I want multiples of 5. So I'm going to start with 5 times 1. Is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. So 5 times 6 is 30. I'm still less than 43, so I'm going to keep going. Got 35, 5 times 7, and 5 times 8 is 40. I know 5 times 9 is 45, so that's bigger than 43. So I'm going to stop there. So list these all out with a comma. So here are my multiples of 5. Less than 43. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. That's it for the multiples. Pretty easy. And I think there's only a couple homework, maybe 3 or 4 that ask about the multiples in WebAssign. So let's go next to what a factor is. So factors are different from multiples, and sometimes we get those mixed up. So let me get a new sheet of paper. Let's talk about factors. So if I wanted to find all the factors of 20. Well, it's not like the multiples where we would go 20 times 1 is 20, 20 times 2 is 40, and list out all those numbers. We want all the pairs of numbers and pairs, I'm meaning 2, so we want all the pairs of numbers that multiply to get to 20. So think of 2 numbers that when you multiply them get you back to 20. And you do need to include 1. So that's always the first one I do. So 1 times 20. Okay. Now, yes, 2 can go in. 2 times 10 is 20. And then I just keep trying each of the counting numbers. So 1 goes in 20 times, 2 goes in. Does 3 go in? Let me put a side note here. Try the counting numbers. Let's say try dividing by the counting numbers. Okay. Does 3 go into 20? No. Does 4 go into 20? We know it does. 4 times 5 is 20. Does 6? No. Does 7? No. Does 8? Does 9? No. Does 10? Well, we have 10 already here. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all no. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Well, 20 we got back up here. So we know that these right here are all the factors of 20. So list these out. And with factors, we want to list them out from small to big with commas. Okay, so here are my factors of 20 listed out from big to small. 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, and I am done. So they'll say on the homework, list out all the factors or find the factors of some number, like find the factors of 20, find all the factors of 15, and you want to start dividing it by 1, divide by 2, divide by 3, just start dividing by the counting numbers and see what you get. Okay, I'm going to stop there and I'm going to finish up the last part of the section, which will be 2.4b.